commentary on the historic moment that we were in. But I would offer to say that this was tough, but it was not impossible. And that is due in large part to two budding friends and now long-standing friends, Congressman Collins and Congressman Jeffries, from widely diverse areas, but coming together and emphasizing that everyone's voice could be heard. And that means that voices that challenged the legislation but wanted to see it go forward were welcomed by these two gentlemen, which is really the mashed potatoes that we may have had has turned into a wonderful legislative gift for those in this holiday season. So I want to thank them for their work and continued work. I want to acknowledge the chairman, Mr. Goodlatte, who had a long-standing commitment on criminal justice reform, along with his able partner, ranking member Nadler, soon to be the chair, who is committed to criminal justice reform going forward, and the great work of the Congressional Black Caucus, chaired by Mr. Cedric Richmond, a member of the committee, and Mr. Walker. And I say that because in addition to being members of Congress, I would venture to say that there are many standing here people of faith. And people of faith were very well engaged in this effort to give dignity and reform to people who needed a second chance. I just want to give a few points as I conclude. There are 6.7 million Americans in the criminal justice system. We have the largest percentage of individuals in the Western world incarcerated, 2.2 million in jails and prisons, and 180,000 in the federal system. What have we done with this legislation? First of all, I want to say that we're not letting out criminals. We're responding to mass incarceration, but we're not letting out criminals. We're letting out people who will have the opportunity to go through programs, be counseled, individuals who will earn good time, and they will earn credits in terms of careers or technical skills that they can utilize. They won't be called a criminal when they're released, which is extremely important. It will be a gift to families who've been waiting for a long time, to young children, to wives, to mothers. And then as it relates to sentencing reduction, which was a key element for many who had worked on this for a long time, and we thank the members of the Senate, from Senator Durbin to Senator Grassley, but also Senator Harris and Senator Booker. In the sentencing, over a period of time with safety valve and retroactivity, which is very important and technical and dealing with mandatory minimums, over a span of time, we'll have 50,000 human beings regain their dignity, go to work, and be able to support their families. Isn't that a worthwhile investment? I want to end on these points that we have struggled with for a very long time. And that is, does a juvenile deserve to be in solitary confinement? Can there be another option? And I'm very grateful to the proponents of this bill, working with us, myself, Senator Booker, to have that language in there which blocks juveniles from being in solitary confinement and finding alternatives. In this bill, the wardens have a lot of power, and a question was raised by a member, who's overseeing the wardens and who's overseeing the Department of Justice for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And so there is an independent review in the Justice Center of a team of individuals that will review the at-risk processes to ensure that those who will be eligible will in fact have a fair chance. How much more, how much greater a gift could we give at this time? We know that we're going to work further, but I am grateful to be able to stand here with people from all different backgrounds and say to the American people, we did this because it was right. I thank all of you for your leadership. It's a pleasure now to introduce Congressman Walker,